While we continue waiting for more updates about Taehyung, it's worth remembering those moments that, although seemingly simple, speak volumes about the connection between Jungkook and Taehyung. For example, that time when all the group members gathered, and while several seemed to be in a hurry, Jungkook kept looking around, as if he was searching for someone. No matter what was happening around him, Jungkook always found a way to slow down a little longer, as if his pace automatically changed when it came to waiting for Taehyung. The others started moving, leaving the area with a certain speed, but he stayed put, because a few seconds later Taehyung appeared, walking a little further behind. Jungkook looked over his shoulder, and instead of continuing forward like the others, he slowed down without much thought, not because anyone asked him to or because he had to, but simply because he felt like it. When they finally got close, they started walking together towards the car as they'd done so many times before. There was no tension or need for acting, just that habit that two people who share something more than friendship have. It's in these small gestures that you can see how natural their relationship is, because Jungkook has always been that way with Taehyung, and Taehyung with him as well. Situations like this aren't new. Those of us who have followed Taehyung for a long time have noticed that their closeness isn't something recent or fleeting, but a constant that has remained throughout the years. One of the most talked about moments was at the airport, where Jungkook was seen to be especially close, even clinging a little to Taehyung, while both appeared relaxed and comfortable, as if being next to each other was their most natural way of being. At that moment, Taehyung stroked Jungkook's head with a simple but meaningful gesture. He didn't do it for the cameras or because people were watching, he did it because he wanted to, because that's how they communicate, without the need for words. That naturalness is one of the things that makes their relationship so special, because there are couples who don't need exaggerated gestures to show what they feel, and Taehyung is clearly one of them. For years, they've made it clear that theirs isn't an act or part of a role, but a real, coherent, and constant relationship. Their way of interacting has always been the same, with a kind of silent affection that's noticeable even when they're surrounded by other people. Even when other members are around, Jungkook always seems to have one eye on Taehyung, and Taehyung understands this without needing to be told. And while many are still waiting for official confirmation, others are simply watching, because when something is genuine, it doesn't need to be explained with words. Jungkook and Taehyung haven't made grand statements about their relationship, but they don't need to either. Their actions, their way of being together, and their sharing even the smallest details speak volumes. Now, speaking of Jungkook's update about the songs he posted on his Instagram stories, I didn't want to revisit this topic, but the truth is, I see several shippers coming up with crazy theories. And I feel like some things need to be clarified because everyone needs to understand that Jungkook opened his new Instagram account and can share whatever he wants. If he put certain songs on his stories, it was simply because he liked those songs at the time, not because they were messages for Favorito or anyone else. For example, there are people saying that because Grace Abrams shared a photo of Favorito at a concert in Las Vegas back in 2021, that has to do with Jungkook. I've also seen people saying that Jungkook shared ESPA's Invierno because she posted the same song a few days ago, which is ridiculous because the truth is, Jungkook only shared those songs because he wanted to, period. The important thing is that Jungkook and Taehyung respect each other's careers a lot and always support each other. As someone who believes in Taehyung, but isn't an obsessive shipper, I support them as a couple and also each of them individually. If we analyze the songs Jungkook put on his stories, they're the same ones Taehyung listens to and shares. They have the same vibes because they basically share the same playlists, something that J-Hope and The Favorite have also said, that they don't share their lists with anyone else. What unites Taehyung isn't just music, but also the way they understand and support each other, as Jungkook and Taehyung have a connection that goes beyond what anyone could imagine. They know each other deeply and respect each other so much that they can have individual spaces without problems, but they're always there for each other. And it's no coincidence that their musical tastes coincide, because they spend a lot of time together, talking about what they like and sharing moments. If we talk about their relationship, it's not just that they share music, there's a trust and natural closeness that shows in everything they do. For example, when Jungkook posts something on Instagram, it's often something that Taehyung also likes or that the two have enjoyed together. It's not something planned or meant to be secret messages, it's simply the way they communicate, with simple gestures and sharing what they like. Additionally, they respect each other's spaces a lot and know how to separate the personal from the professional, which is why they don't get involved in gossip or drama. Although some people want to make up stories, the reality is that Taekook's relationship is based on trust and mutual support. Therefore, if someone wants to understand Taekook, they have to see how they complement each other and how they enjoy being together without complications. They are two people who respect and love each other, and that is evident in every detail. There's no need to exaggerate or invent things to see that there is a real connection. So don't be confused by meaningless theories. Jungkook shares what he wants on his social media, and if that coincides with what Taehyung likes, it's because they share many things in common. Supporting Taekook means recognizing that they are a strong and sincere couple, who respect and support each other in everything, and that's what really matters. There's something that always catches your attention when you start watching videos of Taehyung and Jungkook, and it's that no matter which one it is or when it was recorded, the way they move together has something special, almost as if they share a secret language. It's not exaggerated or prepared, it simply seems as if their bodies know what to do without having to think about it, as if each step or gesture comes from a very personal, almost automatic habit. Wherever they are, surrounded by many people or in front of cameras, they act as if the world belongs to them alone. When one reaches out a hand, the other is there to take it without hesitation, and if one takes a step forward, the other follows without looking back. It's not choreographed or a staged act, it's more of a silent routine between two people who are used to moving together, as if they were one. In Taehyung, what unites them isn't just the music, although they both love it and share an impressive talent, but that way of accompanying and understanding each other naturally. Jungkook and Taehyung don't need to talk all the time to know what the other is feeling. They can be involved in different activities for hours and still maintain a connection that's evident without having to explain it. It's common to see small gestures between them that, although discreet, speak volumes. A faint smile or a light touch on the arm can speak volumes. And although they sometimes seem to be trying not to draw attention to themselves, that connection creeps in between movements and silences, as if there were an invisible thread keeping them close. Some people might say it's all part of a game, a strategy, or simply fan service, but you only have to observe them closely to realize there's something deeper going on. We're not watching a performance, nor are they putting on a show to entertain anyone. What you see between them is real, it's a dynamic born from everyday life, from trust, and from shared time. There are details that give them away, like their similar tastes, which don't seem like a coincidence, since they spend a lot of time together, talking, discovering things they both like, and sharing moments that, little by little, have made them even closer. It's not just affinity, but a relationship built through everyday life. And despite how close they are, they know how to respect each other's spaces. Jungkook can be in his own world, focused on what interests him, and Taehyung lets him be. Likewise, Taehyung can seek out moments of tranquility, and Jungkook understands this without needing to explain. There's no pressure or dependency, there's trust, and that only happens when there's a solid foundation, something stronger than what's visible. Whenever they're close, even when they're not touching, there's a kind of gentle but constant energy between them. A mutual presence that doesn't bother, because not everyone achieves that closeness without words. That happens when there's history, affection, and a connection that doesn't fade over time. For some, all of this may seem like a very strong friendship and nothing more, but there are those who look a little deeper and understand that what exists between Jungkook and Taehyung cannot be reduced to a simple label. In Taehyung, we're not seeing an illusion of social media, but a bond that has grown with small gestures, with mutual respect, with trust, and with real moments that have become part of their history. And yes, there are those who prefer to talk about Jungkook, but when it comes to Taehyung, there's no denying the obvious. There's something that goes beyond the professional, beyond the stage or the cameras. It's a way of being, of accompanying each other, of choosing each other, that has been recorded time and time again. Because what exists between them doesn't need grand declarations. It's in the way they look at each other when they think no one is noticing, in the hugs that last barely a second longer, in the way they approach each other without seeking attention. It's a relationship not defined by words, but by constant and silent actions. Jungkook and Taehyung are important to each other, that's undeniable. Not because they say so, but because they demonstrate it time and time again. And when you look with an open heart, you understand that what exists between them isn't just complicity, but a mixture of companionship, respect, tenderness, and love.